Okay, so this is an office hour, and Mayuri is feeling that she's not following along. So we're going to try to help her and try to figure out what it is that I can do to better help her um, in her quest for writing. Okay, here I
Give
am.
me
You
one
are.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy Saturday, girls.
Huh? What do you say?
Good to see you.
Hi, somebody.
Hello. Hi, it's
Hello.
fine. Okay. So, yeah, I am here and just I know that your mom let me know that you're not following along and just wanting to understand better what that means for you and what we can do to help you um, along. So, Mayuri, let me know. So, was there anything that you wanted to add, Mom, real fast? Were you able to look at the Google Classroom at the lessons that we did?
Yeah. So I looked at the double bubble map
Yeah.
part, and I don't know where was the IVF thing. I couldn't relate that with this.
Okay. Yeah, I can project that for you if you want. Let me share my screen. Yeah, so the IVF is it's going to be in the open session document. So it's right here.
Ah, I didn't see this one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically what we did to support the writing, we did a couple things actually. The first thing with the double bubble map, we were focusing on ideas and recording ideas there. Um, in the same way that you might use an outline to jot down your ideas before you write and to refer to, we use the double bubble map. Okay, and the thing that we did later in the session was that I expressed to them that really the way to advance our sentences along. And what I mean by that, it could be that we're trying to either be more clear or maybe choose different words or even add words or ideas, is to just basically isolate that sentence, just focus on the different parts of the sentence. So I found this useful with students through the years. This comes from a thing called Step Up to Writing, which is a curriculum that we've used in the schools. And so basically, it just has the three parts: identify the subject. So who or what does the action, identify the action itself or the verb. And then the rest of the sentence can be thought of quite simply as finish the rest of your thought. So the example that I gave them was basically, and they helped me fill this chart out so we could identify the subject. Could be David.
Mm-hmm.
Um, verb might be writes, and then the rest of the sentence might be simple, or it could be one word, a love letter to Bella, or it could be writes a letter. And so we built from there. And then we talked about adverbs and adjectives, and that we were going to put those on hold because we had a lot of ideas coming from the girls. They're very intelligent, and which I knew even before I met them. Um, and they've read a lot, so they have a lot of thoughts. And so I was just saying, okay, my goal is not to take away those thoughts. It's basically to give you more control over the sentence so that you're aware of the very various parts of the sentence. We can name the different parts of the sentence, and thereby we can isolate what part of the sentence we feel needs work. And it's really about giving them the power over their writing. So the example we gave, David writes, And basically, we don't really even need this part of the sentence here to be a complete thought. Um, and then we built from there kind of progressively. David writes a love letter. David writes a love letter to Bella. And so and I really told him, I said, look, this is going to look like it's going back to third or fourth grade, but I do this with high school students. And, it's not about going back to the foundation, but it's about reminding them of that foundation so that, see, by this time, they've learned this probably 6, 7 years ago, right? When they were very young. But with the new perspective and the new ideas that they want to bring to their writing and the new reading that they're doing, um, it's nice to be able to go back to the foundation and build from there. And that really gives them the power. So yeah,
Okay.
that was all about.
So, Mayuri, when I asked you what did you do in the class, how come you never showed this to me? She just said, I don't know what I was doing, things like that, vague answers. It might be just to like
The Venn diagram.
so yeah, yeah, but you never mentioned about this at all.
I thought that was
Huh?
I thought the Venn diagram was the idea.
So that's where her understanding is. So
Oh, so the double bubble map, I'm not quite sure. There's a question with the double bubble map
so she
because
thought
it may
that
be.
was the IVF.
Oh no, right. But I don't think she was trying to hide that. I think she just probably confused the name of it. So I think she was trying to tell you everything she knew, but it was just when it's new to them, sometimes they might get the terminology wrong. Is that right, Myri?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the double bubble map, and I'm sure you all saw that
Yeah, we saw that, yeah.
basically. Yeah. So well, that's a blank one there, so that's not really useful. But
Saw
yeah,
the
so
one
the
which is
idea,
spelled. Yeah.
yeah. So if you look, did you get a chance to see the completed double bubble map from each of the girls?
Yes.
Yeah, they did marvelous in the session. They really did. Um, and I'm wondering, Mayuri, if perhaps I may have given you too much at once. Because here's the thing, this is the difficult part of writing when we revise our writing, especially when you have somebody that you're not very familiar with, like myself, telling you what needs to improve in your writing. Is I warned the girls about this already at the beginning of the session. I said, you might feel, and I still at times feel like if somebody points something out in my writing, they're really criticizing me and my thought process. And it doesn't feel very nice. And it's never meant to come across that way to them as, oh, you know what? You don't know how to write. Let me teach you. I know everything about writing. It really is more about, um, I mean, it's a shocker in the beginning, and I never know quite how it's going to come across as students. It's very difficult because students sometimes, I had a student in one of my classes, and she felt like, you're babying us too much. You give us too much. You're giving us too much scaffolding. And why don't you just let me do this? And it was very true for her, but she was brand new in my class. Like they just gave me a bunch of students that are really not my students, but I'm helping. And so what I said to her was, look, I'm trying to learn more about how you receive instruction. What allows you to be receptive to that? And she said, look, the other guy just lets me do it. He just says, you're capable, go ahead and do it. And my approach is a little more deliberate, more scaffolded, more steps. So I'm wondering if she feels that we're trying to do too much to her writing at once and we're not honoring what her ideas are at the point. But she's going to have to say that because I don't know.
Yeah,
It
Mayur, you need to
it's
speak up.
What?
You need to speak up. If you're having issues, you need to speak up.
No, I don't.
well, it's just a simple question. I'm not trying to put her on the spot. Basically, do you feel that it's either too confusing, too much, or like maybe we should just focus on one tiny part? Here's my thought. We take your writing, have you write a paragraph Monday, right? and then ask you to make one tiny change. One tiny change. Find one word that could be more clear, or maybe look at a sentence that has 20 words in it and make it 18 words instead of 20. Is that more of what would help you rather than being so drastic? Because we're being really drastic right now. It's a culture shock. It's emotion. It's a lot to take in. Think about last week when I told you what you're writing, how I evaluated it, and the score that I gave you. Was that kind of where you're feeling kind of this is too much? Like,
No.
no? All right.
So this week she did writing in her school
Okay.
about interviewing somebody. So she made up this. The assignment was to write like 5 paragraphs about interviewing somebody. She put my name in it, and some things are all made up. Those things didn't really happen, but she just made up certain things. Like, okay, my mom faced discrimination when she grew up. Things like that that didn't really happen, but she had to make up certain things to relate it to a book, The Outsiders. I'm sure you've read
Okay.
that. So just to bring, some kind of a similarity between the two, she made up
Yeah.
something.
Action.
So is that some writing she can show you and the same exercise can be done on Monday?
That's what we kind of did last session too. She showed me was it the same
I
presentation where
think
you
that
show
was
me the
Kushi.
slides?
That was Kushi who worked on the homework. But that
Yeah.
was the argumentative essay. The one that Mayuri did was an interview. Like she interviewed me, kind of a
Yeah.
thing, with 5 paragraphs of who I am, how the challenges I had growing up, and then relating it back to her own life. Every paragraph was me and then her, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a good example because she wrote that pretty much on her own.
Yeah.
Of course, looking up on the internet for all kinds of synonyms and stuff like that. But the thoughts were her own. I don't know if
Absolutely.
that's something she can do, and that probably helps her realize,
Yeah.
how she can relate what she's learning in your class to what she's doing.
Yeah. So Mayuri, why don't you tell me what you feel could be different, could be better, or give me some specifics that I could actually use to um, make modifications, changes to what we do and how we do it. Is it, I mean, it sounds like, would you agree with your mom, maybe 15 minutes at least to look over any kind of writing you're doing in your class?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So changes, let me write this down. Okay, 15 minutes for Mayuri's homework. Okay, no, I think that's great. And that's kind of the approach. I've been mixing that in more and more, only because I find when students really write something that they care about, especially, whether it's graded, they may not love it, but it's like, this is important to me. I want to turn this in. And they really do care about their writing and their thoughts. And I think that they take great pride in that. Um, yeah. So what else can we do differently? Because I feel like maybe there's some maybe disconnect in what we were doing.
No, no, that's okay. We're also learning this process, so it's okay. It'll take some time. That's okay. And they did read the chapter one, both of them. I don't know how much they understood, but they did read it. And do you want to talk about it? About the chapter one that you read?
Hmm? Yeah, I read chapter one.
So do you want to tell him what you learned about it, or is that something you want to discuss in the next class?
Um, I don't know, like there's different types of there's various elements composed in the book, so I'm not really sure. It's great.
Oh, you're talking about elements of composing.
Yes, yes, the chapter one.
There's like elements of composition and various like
Yeah.
factors like
I
that.
thought it was elementary rules of usage in the chapter one.
Yeah.
Elementary rules of usage.
Yeah, but there's different elements composed in the book, like
Yeah.
composition and stuff like that.
Right. Um, okay.
Different
Yeah, I
usages
mean
of
it's
common.
you know the book it's got a lot in it. So what I did is before the session today, I generated some ideas for them already for the workbook. I just got my workbook Friday.
Oh yeah, they have the workbook too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did is I selected some for each of them that we can go over.
Okay.
But it should be something they can do. It's slightly different for each of them. And so I like the workbook because it gives them a chance to actually work and on those. Um, so I think probably um, what I'm sensing is that you got something out of the reading, right? But it's kind of like, hey, what did you learn today? It's kind of like, oh my gosh, um, I'm let me look at this specifically. And so you may not feel prepared in this very moment, but you did read the chapter, and I'm guessing that you found it useful.
Mhm.
Yeah, some helpful tips and stuff. Well, what I'm going to do for you is because this is like a whole forest full of stuff, right? It's easy to get lost in all this. And I don't want you to feel that way because I don't want you guys to just feel like you have something extra to do just to waste your time. So, the reason why I suggested this book is because it will actually give you some exercises in um, how can I put it? It's not even about concise writing so much as it is about knowing how to change our writing, change the voice, change the kind of language that's in it. And really, girls, think of it this way. If you're going to write a letter to your twin, right? A text message, is that going to sound like a 5 paragraph essay? No.
No.
It's going to be IDK, like low key this, low key that. Um, ROTL, right? Rolling on the floor, laughing, all those kinds of things, right? If you write a
Mhm.
letter to your teacher asking for a chance to redo a quiz, is that going to be a little different? Yeah. So it's really about being aware of your audience, who you're writing to, and therefore changing the level of your words and everything. You girls are so good. You're such good students. You're good at giving the teachers what they want. Um, and so I'm going to give you some exercises here to prioritize according to what I see you need in your writing. What I'm giving to each of you is very different from what I would give to some of my other students. My other students need more vocabulary, more elaboration. And with the girls, I'm just trying to shape that a little bit and give it a little structure. That's all.
So Monday they have I think Tuesday they have an exam. Like then I think Thursday they're done with all their exams. So maybe from like Wednesday onwards, if you could give them homework, but just hold on till then, maybe do these workbooks in the class. Then
Yeah,
they're totally free for the
we
rest
can do
of
some
the
of that too.
academic year. Yeah, maybe this year.
Yeah.
So
Girls, I want to make this so I can't emphasize this enough. I used to spend hours and days just putting stuff together. And you know what I found out? It puts a lot of pressure on me to feel like, oh, let's hurry up and get this done. Let's hurry up and go to the next thing. Let's hurry up and go to the next thing. I have a lot I want to teach you. And that's true. But the thing is, um, I love when Mayuri or Kushi stops me in the like after 40 minutes and say, Shaw, Mr. Shaw, can we work on something? I love that. To me, that is so wonderful, so precious that they trust me enough to ask for that. It makes my heart very glad when they ask. And because I know they care about that. They really do. And they're receptive to that. And they help each other with that too. So I can see how they work together. So yeah, we can make it flexible and
okay,
make it
all right, thank
meaningful
you.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we had. I don't know unless you girls have something. No.
And here's the thing. The last thing we'll say here, and if you want, we can spend some time with them right now because you have a full hour, or we can just end in a couple minutes. That's fine too. I wanted to say, um, if you feel there's things you want to learn and you're kind of quiet and shy, let your mom know, write it down, whatever it is, share it with me, write it down for me, and then share it with me, and then try to share it with me at the beginning of the session. And then because I'm very flexible like that. I would much rather have you receptive and excited about what you're learning rather than me have just all kinds of great, wonderful things. Um, you know what I'm saying? So it's a dance, if you will, kind of like I put out some of this information, you push back a little bit, and you ask me for some questions, and that's how you learn. That's pretty much. And what one of the things that I do when students ask me questions is I will say, okay, are we good? And they'll say, yeah, we're good. And I'll say, by the way, what we just learned was blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's put a name to it. And that way, I feel that if they can name it, they can keep that, consolidate that learning for next time because it sticks with them. When they work on their writing and they see that assignment, they turn it in. By the way, Kushi, how did it go with that particular that slide that we worked on? Did you get any feedback from your teacher, or how did you feel about that?
She didn't grade it.
She didn't grade it yet? Okay. All right. But occasionally you might find that. So last week, next week's our last week after Wednesday, right? No more grading.
Uh,
Probably have two more
yeah,
weeks, right?
they have 2 more weeks of school, and next week I think they'll get feedback from the
Yeah.
teacher on their writing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
next week they don't have any like real school thing. They're just going to watch a movie in the ELA class.
Yeah. 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 I think grades for me are due Thursday or Friday, and I'm going to turn them in like
That's right. Yeah. Thursday. Yeah. Okay.
girls, no big deal. So yeah.
Yeah. So then Monday, then. Okay. You're going to speak up.
What?
Monday, you're going to see Mr. Shah on Monday. Yeah. Okay.
Good
Yeah.
girls. I appreciate that. You have a wonderful weekend. And
You too.
reach out if you have any other questions. I'll be around.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.